Shiva Loka is Jnana Sunya Bhakti. Shivata.
Shiva Loka. Not proper. The lowest portion of Shuddha Bhakti, the lowest, near the marginal region. Shiva says, Brahmā shows Shiva, Karmameshra Bhakti Brahmā. He points out Shiva to be higher. Shiva points us to Prahlād, and from Prahlād Shuddha Bhakti begins. Prahlād is about Shiva. Shiva is the emblem of Jnana-Nishta. Then comes Prahlād. From there, Shuddha Bhakti begins. But Prahlād also hesitates. And he recites his own example, that sometimes I want to oppose Sri Vishnu in Naimisarana, I want to fight against him in Sankalpa. So I should not be reckoned as Shuddha Bhakta. I have got some this demonic element in me, so I had the birth in the demon family. He says so. But still, in general, Prahlād is accepted as Shuddha Bhakta. And then, above that, Hanuman, Shuddha Bhakta, Dasakta, Prahlād Shanta Bhakti. And the next higher, Daksha Bhakti, and the typical Daksha Bhakti in Hanuman. Then above that, Sakka Bhakti. And the typical in Sakka Bhakti is Arjuna, Krishna. Then again higher, this Jadava and the Uddhava. And this way it develops. No tatha me priyatamo natmo joni no sankara, no cha sankarsana nasi naivatma jatha bhava. Then karmi bhav parito harit priyataya bhakti jajur jnanina means chatusham. Bhav jnana vimukta bhakti parama means Narada. Jnana vimukta bhakti parama. Premaiko nishtha stata, that is Uddhava. Tedbhasta pasupala pankaja desha. Then the gopi. Then the next type gopi Radhika. And the Rādhārāṇī holding the highest position. In this way, the gradation of devotion pure is rising up. Hare Krishna, Gaur Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol. Manu Bhajya Samutkirtane Suttasya Vāstivinoda. Kalidas says, just before his compilation of Raghuvamsha, the great sage Kalidas, his introduction to his own self. Here I am a small poet, and my aspiration to describe the great famous dynasty of the Surya Vangsha. Ka Surya Vangsha, ka Chalpa Vishayamati. How is that great dynasty, royal dynasty that we Surya Vangsha? I am an insignificant person. I want to describe their glory, what ahankar, boast in me. अथवा कृतवागदारे वंशीस्मिन् पूर्वसूरिभिः मनो वज्रसमुत्कीर्णे सुप्तस्य वास्तिव. On the other hand, I may think it that the Valmiki, Vyas, those great personages, they have shown, they have chalked out some path, and I can work out in that path. The example is very valuable. Mano Vajra Samskiri, the money, the jewel, and the jewel is pierced through by first and by the, what is that?
Needle.
Needle, that big needle. And then the thread can enter very easily through that. So my position is like thread. And the needle, the big needle, has already pierced through. So that is our position. The great Vaishnava, they have already weighed and given stamp what is what. And we are only like thread entering into that. Entering through the hole. So Sanatana Goswami, Kaviraj Goswami, Sukadeva Goswami, they have already given us the comparative study of the Vaishnava. And from here we are trying to follow that. And to understand that, how the gradation is there. Where is Uddhava, where is Gopi, where is Rādhārāṇī. And from here we are smoothly going on the marking. Again, he is greater than, he is greater than, from here. Sutrashri Vastini Goti. Sanatana Goswami, when writing about Satyabhama, Rukmini, who is who, then he says, it must be my audacity that I am going to compare, draw the comparison among the twins of Krishna in Dwaraka. What audacity I have got. But my friend, believe me, I am not writing someone forcibly taking my hand and force me to write. Sanatana Goswami said, I am a tiny person, how can I draw comparison between them and say this is, he is that, he is good, he has got this qualification, he is higher qualification. But someone enforcing me to write. See, that's in my hand, my pen. So Adhuksaya, that is, whenever we deal, it is the function of Yogamaya Sarupa Shakti. So if Jiva Shakti come to interfere, to handle, to participate, then that higher potency must come and influence him. Only it is possible there, then and there. Otherwise, no. The Jiva cannot have any connection to deal with those Vaikuntha things. So always this should be kept in mind. So our dedication, our surrender to that potency, that is our qualification. That should be considered as our qualification. That to surrender to that higher potency and to allow her to work through me. That should be. Whenever we have to deal with that higher substances. Then only, as we should surrender, we should ask to be utilized by the higher force. So surrender is the first quality when we approach to deal with things of higher subject. Always this should be kept in mind. Do you follow? Am I clear? No.
Yes,
So we are helpless. And the surrendering is the only qualification that can help us to deal with things that are above. Super-subjective realm. The super where I cannot be subject. The realm is super-subjective, and it is not a fashion of saying. Reality is this. If we are to face with reality, then we must have to admit this. The super-subjective. As a subject, I cannot enter there. Super-subjective means to invite the super-subject to work in me. That should be the attitude. So Mahaprabhu says, Jnana Sunna Bhakti, Saranagati, surrendering. Surrendering is to invite the higher potency to work through me. That should be the attitude of all devotees, surrendering, and to make himself an instrument of the higher potency. As much as that will come in, only to give vent to that. No coloring, no prejudice of his own. As much as possible, the current will come down and try to represent that, what is coming down. That should be our attitude. Gaur Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol. If we miss this point, this important point to hit, then we are undone. Prakrita Sahajiya. Then what will be the result? We shall muggling with the shadow. Shadow will be our subject. We shall fight with shadow. So, the life of devotion is devotedness. Devotedness, the degree of devotedness to the cause. The wealth is there. Wealth is his, only it is then that comes down. It is his property, or in other words, it is the property of my Gurudev. Gurudev's property. I am using on his behalf. I must be a faithful servant to deal with his things. And he will say, this is my Gurudev's property in this way. Everyone. In the succession, so this is the property of my Gurudev. He also says, this is the property of my Gurudev. In this way, the succession. The opaque Guru and transparent Guru. The opaque Guru is to be rejected. Guru-bruva. He wants to say that I am Guru. He is Guru-bruva. Not real Guru, Guru-bruva, who confesses himself that I am Guru. He is Guru-bruva. Atmanam Guru Bhagavati.
Guru-bruva means টা বলুন Bruva বললে তো সবাই বুঝতে পারবেন না
ওই বললো who is confessing, who is his own confessor that he is Guru. He is Guru-bruva, Brudhatu, Bhagavati, who says that he, the Guru saying that I am Guru, confessing himself. Guru-bruva. And the real Guru, he is transparent Guru. Through him, the things on other sides can be seen. He is transparent. And Guru-bruva, that is a barrier, hindrance between the transcendental and the mundane. Opaque.